Con sonar new contact bearing 226, designated Sierra 3. Con sonar new contact bearing 218, designated Sierra 4. Con sonar new contact bearing 225, designated Sierra 5.
Good morning, and welcome back to Cold
Con
Waters.
sonar new contact bearing 213, designated Sierra 6.
It's sure to be a busy one, this
Con
one.
sonar new contact bearing 217, designated Sierra 7.
Right, here's the sit rep.
Con sonar new contact bearing 209, designated Sierra 8.
Okay, here's the sit rep in brief. We are fighting off against what appears to be a fairly small invasion fleet approaching Greenland in what is becoming a familiar scenario for me to just play through and happily get my backside handed to me. I've made the crew just that little bit quieter, and what we're going to be doing today is going through and seeing if HMS Splendid, that's S103 I believe, can hold their own against against the enemy, which in this case is the US Navy. Okay, now Intel has given us some information that looks like a submarine. We know we're facing landing ships, and in fact I've just identified some of those. But Intel's like, well, it's a little hard to tell what the Americans could bring to this particular party, so it could be all sorts. Which is not the most reassuring of news. What's this? Yeah, it's not the most reassuring of news, but I mean we've had worse. We are British. I mean we've faced off against the Germans, and you know we saved the US from the Second World War. So there's a lot here that there's a lot at stake in many respects, and here's the oddity: the UK's got right of refusal on buying Greenland. So we are essentially, well, we are protecting our sovereign rights. Okay, now that all out the way, orders are orders, and so I got a bad feeling about this, but these mostly look like, I wouldn't say civilian, but there's only one ship it looks like. Well, and that's a submarine, that's a sturgeon, so sturgeon's a capable boat, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's quite the same league as the Swiftsure-class. That said, I've done some pretty incredible things in the sturgeon, so we could be facing pretty much anything. Gonna get my depth to 100 feet now. It's possible I'm gonna get the ire of the US here, or rather the ire of the warships. That's 13. Is that enough? What's that? I can't discount submerged contacts. I happen to recognize the profile of the sturgeon or the US submarines through playing, not so much this scenario, but playing a bunch of scenarios recently. Okay, that's a Nox.
Con sonar Sierra 1-3 is classified as escort.
Okay, well, I would say so far, I think doing all right. The Emery S land, what exactly is that? Tender. Okay, well, the Esperance, I believe, is a warship. Yes, it is. Okay. Not able to detect me right now. The Nox is not able to detect me either. There's a sturgeon out here. So I think is that 13 I've identified so far? 13 contacts. I think Sierra 13 is the Nox. Okay, so we know the game can handle up to 15. Let's see how many it's got. As far as weapons I'm carrying today, we don't have any Harpoon submarine-to-surface missiles. That's an American weapon, and we're not even going to share. We do have some Harpoons. What do you know? I thought we didn't. I must have messed that one up. We do have some Harpoons then, so great. We've no idea if they're going to work or not, because we're sure that there's some kind of
Sonar lost contact. Sierra 9, last bearing 185. Contact
some kind of Star Trek cleverness going on. Let's make the crew that little bit louder again, I think. Like so. Oh boy, that's not good. Sierra 12 can detect me, and likely has. That's very bad news. Because it will have radioed to everything else. Could have done without that, to be fair. However, that's my own numptiness.
Come right to 206 Helm
Which
I.
likely means that everything else is just going to decide to, yeah, they need to be somewhere else. In fact, it looks like they are accelerating and turning away.
200 feet.
I believe the term is meh. That's a bit unfortunate. I wanted to
Con sonar lost contact.
the element
Sierra
of surprise.
2, last
But
bearing
there we go.
208. Contact
That's what
faded.
happens when you get complacent, David.
Passing 300 feet.
So, if I were the Americans and I was approaching Greenland and I detected a Royal Navy submarine, I would probably
Con
laugh.
sonar lost contact. Sierra 4, last bearing 211.
Because
Contact faded.
Passing 400
don't
feet.
have quite the same reputation, I would think. Well, I'm saying that. I mean, you've got the US Navy alongside them behind you, so I mean, you're going to be just fine, right? You would think. So, yeah, it'll be just fine. Okay, well, we're going to see how well this thing pans out. I'm likely to have to pause the recording in the real world, because
Passing 500 feet.
real world has a habit of catching up with what's going on. Yeah, they are definitely running away. That's really unfortunate, 'cause, I'm not saying I've messed it up, but I've messed it up. Anyway, going back to topic, I may have to abort, or abort the recording, probably not. I may have to pause the recording, go and do some real life stuff, and then come back. And there's a chance if I do that, I'm going to forget what on earth is going on in the game.
Make depth 600 feet. Dive high.
So that'll be fun. Okay, let's accelerate time. Looks like the sturgeon's pinging me.
Con. Dive at 600 feet.
Why
Dive
would I
high.
be doing that? So I've primed my weapons to head to the surface to attack whatever's coming this way. So now they're going the other way. I mean, our mission is not necessarily to sink everything. It's to defend Greenland, and I'd rather not
Come
sink
right
anything.
to 256 Helm I.
Okay.
Con sonar regained contact on Sierra 5.
Con Helm. Steady course.
So there's the sturgeon turning back towards me. Now, if it's actively pinging me, it's going to have detected me right now. And it is prime for a guided torpedo launch. A wire-guided torpedo launch. Now, I have a spearfish and tigerfish. So we put some tigerfish back into service. I don't know if it's trying to flank me or just surely it can detect me. See, if I launch upon the sturgeon, it is going to detect me, and if it's telling
Con
it,
sonar regained contact on Sierra 6, bearing 202.
if it's turning away, now's my chance. Yeah, I don't know that it is turning away.
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 13, last bearing 187. Contact faded.
Well, here's my plan. I point my nose at the sturgeon.
Come left to 121 Helm I.
He's actually being pretty
Con
quiet, so
sonar lost contact. Sierra 1, last bearing 214.
Come left to 147 Helm I.
I'm likely to lose contact with him if I point my nose directly at him. So I've revised my immediate plan, and that's I'm going to point the nose a little bit behind him, I'm going to get a spearfish off in his direction. He's got Mark 48s. Mark 48s are nasty.
Sonar regained contact on Sierra 7, bearing 208.
So yeah.
Sonar regained contact on Sierra 1, 2, bearing 189.
So he's got nasty, nasty weapons. But spearfish are probably a better weapon. I say probably. They're different. They're very effective and under different circumstances. I'm spent more time with the Mark 48s.
Sonar reports ice ahead.
So I'm arguably more used to them. Oh, that's interesting. There's ice between me and the bad guys. Or some of the bad guys. Yeah. That is very interesting. So ice for me, I was right there. And of course, his bearing to me is something like...
Con, helm, steady course.
It's right in the way. Okay. So if I'm going to fire a torpedo, I'm going to have to notch it round him. Spearfish could reach, but it looks like I've got a warship approaching me, and as well as an Emery S land. So I was going to earmark a tigerfish for that. I'm not sure if I want to give away my position right now. I do also have harpoons I can pop to the surface and launch, though they may not be effective. They will give away my location. Yeah. Decisions here, really. There's a lot that could go horribly wrong in a very short space of time. That sturgeon is most definitely a threat. Now, in theory, he won't detect me because there's this honking great big iceberg in the way. It's going to block the sound. Well, so it doesn't quite get in the way now, does it? But it does mean I can hide behind it. Okay. I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and fire a torpedo.
Shoot 2-1. Aye, sir.
And go ahead and...
Come right to
Oh.
209. Helm, aye.
That's
Con
not...
sonar launch transient from Sierra 1.
That's
4.
not very nice. Well, Sierra 1-4 is probably... definitely a submarine, looking at that profile.
Con
Oh
sonar
boy.
Sierra 1-4 is classified as submerged submarine.
Okay,
Con,
that's...
fire control. We've lost the
That's
wire.
really not good in the slightest. That's a Virginia-class. That's the very latest.
Come right to.
So
turns
I
for
was
1,
of a mind to
Make turns for 20 knots. Maneuvering aye.
let's just say
Con sonar
to
lost contact. Sierra 4, last bearing 209. Contact faded.
hang around a little bit, but I don't like the look of
Come
fancy
right
my
to
chances against a
325.
Virginia-class.
Helm, aye. Con, maneuvering. Making turns for 20 knots.
Oh, I lost the wires. Okay. That's fine. I didn't need those wires anyway.
Make turns for 32 knots. Maneuvering
So,
aye.
I am going to crank on. I'm going to get down to 1,200 feet. That's my test depth.
Passing 700 feet.
I'm going evasive. I'm notching
Con, helm, steady course.
his
Passing 800 feet.
notching his incoming ad caps. Let's tell my.
Passing 900 feet.
Let's do that because we're
Mean
diving.
depth 1200 feet. Dive aye.
I may have to censor
Con
this, but
sonar
we're
lost contact. Sierra 8, last bearing 179. Contact faded.
going down quicker than a cheap hooker. So, having put that terrible joke in there,
Con, torpedo room, tube 1 ready.
interesting. I kind of feel like I should just abort the mission and start it again. But where's the fun in doing that? Where is the fun in doing that? We might discover where the fun was. Oh, message from my boss. Sorry, an incoming comm message from my boss. So, okay, the plan right now then. I got one spearfish going towards the Virginia. Now, it appeared to be turning south, possibly...
Con sonar, torpedo in the water. Torpedo in the
kidding
water.
me?
Bearing 232.
Dang.
Passing 1,200 feet.
Those Mark 48s are on me already. Oh, it's an air-launched torpedo. I can't be sure what it is, but whatever it is,
Con, torpedo room, tube 3 ready.
it's detected me. So, got a spearfish towards the Virginia-class, a spearfish towards the Sturgeon. Both of those will have heard me. The Virginia most definitely. The Sturgeon, I would hope, would have heard me.
Con, sonar, torpedo in the water, torpedo in the water, bearing 210.
Great. So, both of those Mark 48 ad caps are on me now. Now I'll switch back to my view.
Con, maneuvering, making turns for 3, 2
Yeah,
knots.
they both got down to depth. Now, I might be able to have evade them. So I turned tail and ran, and there's no shame in running. There really isn't. Because these bad boys will have me. Let's just put it that way. So, let's see if I can go evasive. Now, I fired a tigerfish and told it to acquire a surface target. Let's see if we can see what's happening with my weapons. All weapons, I should say. So, that appears to be my tigerfish. And it might be tracking something, which is cool. The sea state is pretty high right now. Well, we knew that. Intel said that
Con,
it's a
sonar, noisemaker, bearing 210.
good time to attack. That appears to be one of my torpedoes, maybe? Searching? I'm not sure. Those are the enemy torpedoes. Yeah, it doesn't really help me.
Con, sonar,
Oh, I can hear
noisemaker,
something there.
bearing 1,
Okay.
2, 3.
Let's jump back to my view, and we're still running more or less north. I'm actually going to just crank on a little bit. Very, very slightly west. We've managed to avoid those ad caps, which I'm very happy about. And both the Sturgeon and the Virginia appear to have dropped noisemakers, so they're clearly under threat by something. There's a warship under threat by a tigerfish too, so we might have just pulled this one off so far.
Con, sonar, noisemaker, bearing 216.
Yeah, both those submarines are going defensive. That's fantastic news, because you keep them defensive, they're not able to see where I am, and therefore they're not able to fire upon me again, and that's very good. Now, this little wheeze of looking back behind me, I don't see a torpedo. Yes, I do. I see one in the distance. YouTube compression might squeeze it out of the image, but I see both of them. Okay, and it looks like... Let's accelerate time a little bit.
Con, sonar, noisemaker, bearing 216.
Oh, I don't know what that was. Well, yes I do. It was something blowing up. I don't know what I hit.
Con, sonar, noisemaker, bearing 212.
Okay, I got the Sturgeon. That'll be a Sturgeon or an ex-Sturgeon. It was so unnecessary to attempt to invade Greenland, but there we go. That's taking care of one threat. Right, now I was looking back at my boat, and there's a couple of torpedoes. I don't detect them anymore. Okay, I'm going to start to ease a little bit west. Let's accelerate time again.
Con, sonar, noisemaker, bearing 211.
Okay, that was a Han Solo gentle left turn. The idea there is it's the most amazing evasive maneuver anyway. If you've watched Family Guy Star Wars, you'll get that. So a gentle turn left, and the hope there
Con, sonar, noisemaker, bearing 208.
is that wherever that torpedo is, it can't detect me. So I'm going to drop to
Rig ship for ultra quiet.
ultra quiet right now. We're still at depth, and see if we can detect those torpedoes. In fact, let's just reduce my depth while we're at it, because they were just as deep as me. So we'll use my speed. We'll sort of pull the boat up. Let's get it to sort of middle weight, 600 feet.
Passing 1,100 feet.
Let's see what we see. So far, I don't see nothing.
Con, sonar, regained contact on Sierra 1.
Passing 1,000 feet.
I'm actually going to go ahead and just tell it to do me to 6. Oh, other way.
Make depth 1250 feet. Dive high.
Take me to 600 feet.
Make depth 600 feet. Dive high.
Right. The Virginia is still kicking, and the Spruance is still kicking. So, this destroyer,
Con,
let's
sonar,
look up.
regained contact on Sierra 8, bearing 174.
So it's got guns, torpedoes, and missiles. I mean, that's a surprise. it's really not a surprise. It's got Mark 46 torpedoes. Those can be pretty effective. They're quite a small warhead, if I recall correctly. And that looks like one of the Mark 48s that detected me, and then I was right on the cusp of its detection range, and I turned away, and it likely was not operating particularly deep. They do this spiral downwards maneuver. It's almost as effective as the Han Solo gentle left turn, and by which point I was able to get out of its detection range. So that is very nice. That seems to have worked. And the Virginia class is still doing its thing. I don't know whether we struck that or not. It might have decided it wants to go somewhere else now. But everything else has gone somewhere else, so I'm still going to have to engage with the enemy. Potentially engage, but on the other hand, if they've decided that they're not going to invade Greenland right now, okay. That's a successful mission. And with minimal loss of life, which is good. So, color me happy with how that's turned out so far. Alright, let's set my torpedoes for a surface target. I say I don't really want to just go gung-ho against the Americans. That's a very American thing to do. We British would prefer a somewhat more refined technique, don't you know? That where I am just as gung-ho as everyone else. But I'm kind of encouraged by this. Let me accelerate time.
Con, dive at 600
Now,
feet, dive
see,
high.
I'm not encouraged by that. Spirit. Oh, he can't hear me though.
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 1-4. Last bearing 2-0-0. Contact faded.
It's possible that
Con sonar lost contact.
Oh!
Sierra 1-4. Last bearing 1-9-7. Contact breaking up.
we got the other submarine. Well, that's a bit of a blow to the US Navy. Sorry, chaps. But wow, maybe we struck it and they were unable. Oh, I hope they were able to get it back to the surface and get the crew off. But maybe we struck it and they scuttled the boat because it was too badly damaged. So that's good news. I'm gonna just circle back on myself.
Come left to 110. Helm aye.
I'm gonna head east-southeast. Let's accelerate time. This Mark 48 is still circling, and this Spruance is still circling. So I don't really want to get that close because they might detect me.
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 8. Last bearing 1-7-4. Contact faded.
But everything else has sort of disappeared.
Con, helm, steady course.
When that Mark 48's disappeared, I'll think about heading a bit closer to the surface, maybe. Well, there's the second one. Okay, well that's about right because when the Virginia class fired upon me, that was the approximate separation as you would have expected. So yeah, both those torpedoes detected me. I was able to turn away, and it worked. Shocker! Numpty does a thing.
Passing 600 feet.
Right, let's go to periscope depth. I'm feeling brave now.
Passing 500 feet.
Just because I have
Passing
them,
400 feet.
I'm gonna equip
Con,
Passing 300
the
feet.
harpoon, and we'll
Passing
see.
200 feet.
Right, let's
Con
go.
sonar regained contact on. Sierra 2. Bearing.
Passing 100 feet.
Let's go
Con
above.
sonar regained contact on. Sierra 1.
Make depth 4-5 feet. Dive high.
Con sonar regained contact on. Sierra 3. Bearing 2-1.
Okay. That looks like my tigerfish
Con
is.
sonar regained contact on. Sierra 5.
Oh,
bearing 2-1.
that's not good. That's not good at all. No, we don't want that.
Con sonar regained contact on.
Up scope. Make depth 4-5 feet. Dive high.
That's really bad. We just exposed ourselves
Con sonar
Rig ship for ultra quiet.
to everything out there. Okay, so yeah, the Spruance is engaged with a tigerfish. It
Con
looks like.
sonar regained contact on. Sierra 1-1. Bearing 2-0-4.
So that's
Con
something.
sonar regained contact on. Sierra 1-0. Bearing 2-0-8.
Bruins is also faster than Tigerfish, which means that there's no chance of him actually getting the Tigerfish, I don't think. So, having reloaded a whole bunch of harpoons, I might want to just go back and reload a spearfish, because a spearfish can certainly catch him.
Con, torpedo room, tube 4 ready.
And the fact that the Tigerfish kept the Swiftsure-class busy is not really a waste of a weapon.
Con, sonar, new contact bearing 157. Designated Sierra 15.
What is this? What is Sierra 15? Oh, that's the narwhal.
Con, sonar.
Con, dive at 5 feet, dive by.
That's not good. Okay, that's very bad. That is
Downscope.
something firing upon me. Okay, and that's really not good.
Come right to 2. Make turns for
Oh boy.
3.
Con,
Okay.
sonar. We are cavitating.
So I lingered too much on the
Passing 100
surface,
feet.
and the bad
Con,
guys.
sonar, lost contact. Sierra 2. Last bearing 200. Contact faded.
And I
Con,
s-
sonar.
Passing 200 feet.
and I say, but
Make turns for
Bad guys.
2.
Con, sonar. No longer cavitating.
I think it's important for me to say that in this case, it's people
Con,
following
maneuvering,
orders.
Making turns for 2. 0.
Passing 400 feet.
Okay, I'm gonna switch back to me. So what's happened here? What's going on is that a surface contact, I believe, has fired a rocket-powered torpedo in my direction,
Passing
and
500 feet.
that's very bad for a few reasons. But the main reason is I'm a target now,
Con, sonar.
See what I
Torpedo
mean?
in the water. Torpedo in the water.
and that was
Bearing
because
2,
I
1,
spent
2.
way too long loitering on the surface. Okay, I need to get this spearfish off and then make like a tree
Shoot 2-1.
and get out of here.
Make turns for 3. 2 knots. Maneuvering eye.
Passing 600 feet.
Go ahead and crack it on. That sounds like another one's been launched. Yeah, it is. Okay. They're going fully on the offensive now, and I kind
Passing
of
700 feet.
should have expected that because I did provoke them by staying on the surface
Passing 800 feet.
way too long. Still, it wouldn't be
Passing
a
900 feet.
Numpty mission if there wasn't some torpedo evasion, right? Alright, well, here it comes. I'm going to put my tail on it, and I'm going to immediately
Con, torpedo room, tube 2 ready.
try and get the knuckle. Yeah, there goes the knuckle. So the knuckle worked. Now I'm going to use the ballast to get myself down to 1,200 feet. That will help a little bit, but also if I've got that depth underneath me, or above me rather, if I have to do a numpty shuffle,
1,000 feet.
in other words, very rapidly change direction, and
Con, knuckle formed.
change depth, I've got 1,200 feet above me. Now I don't really want to use 1,200
Con,
feet.
sonar. Torpedo in the water. Torpedo in the water. Bearing 2, 4, 8.
Okay,
Con, sonar.
that's
Torpedo in the water. Torpedo in the water.
that-
Bearing 2,
that's
7,
not good news.
0.
I mean
Con,
that's now
torpedo
3.
room, tube 1 ready.
Passing 1,100 feet.
I mean, if it were 2, it's not cheating, but it's 3, so
Con, knuckle formed.
2's a crowd, 3's a party. I'm having a torpedo party. Yeah, that's not what I envisaged if I was invited to a torpedo party.
Con, knuckle formed.
So, thankfully, these are Mark 46s, and so they're kind of dumb compared to some of the more modern ones. But
Con, knuckle formed.
if you're kind of dumb and carry a baseball bat, you can still clobber me over the head with it and cause a lot of pain. So, I want to do some
Con,
evasive
knuckle
maneuvers here.
formed.
And we might have to do it. Planning a numpty shuffle already. Okay,
Con,
switch
torpedo
back. I'd
room,
like to
tube
watch that. Let's crack on
Con,
pop.
knuckle
And
formed.
let's go ahead and do this. Once I've got my nose up, I'm going to reverse the turn.
Passing 1,200 feet.
Torpedo. I was going to do a shuffle
Con,
here, but
knuckle formed.
I'm not going to now.
Passing 1,100
We're
feet.
turning to starboard. I'm going to drop a noisemaker for the sake of it, and then reverse the
Passing
turn
1,000 feet.
and drop my
Con,
depth.
knuckle formed.
This might have been a mistake, but we'll find out.
Con, knuckle formed.
It's got one below me. That one adjacent to me is a little too close for comfort. Let's see if we can knuckle that one away.
Con, Torpedo room.
Con, knuckle
We'll
formed.
do a rapid change of depth. Straighten things up. Let's go straight up. Turn towards this torpedo
Passing
approaching me from
900
my
feet.
right. So the
Passing
narwhal
800
is here.
feet.
Narwhal is used for special ops.
Passing 700 feet. Passing 600 feet.
Maybe she called for backup.
Con, knuckle formed.
We're a little close to the... Okay, thank goodness.
Passing 400 feet.
So we really don't want to get that close to the top, to the surface, because
Passing.
Con sonar, we are cavitating.
you start to cavitate with number one, and number two,
Passing
you
300 feet.
got to change direction, and you got to change whether you're
Con sonar, no longer cavitating.
climbing or descending. So
Passing
right
400 feet.
now,
Con, knuckle formed.
I'll give
Passing
these
500 feet.
these fish a knuckle, but I don't know if it's going to work.
Passing 600 feet.
Okay,
Passing 700 feet.
there's two of them on me.
Passing 800 feet.
Have another knuckle.
Passing 900 feet. Passing 1,000 feet.
So when you're diving, the knuckles don't always
Passing
work.
1,100 feet.
Oh, yeah, that's bad.
Make
Depth,
turns
depth.
for 20 knots.
Test depth is
Maneuvering
1,200 feet. It's easy to forget that when you're in something that has quite a good diving performance. But if you take a little knock below your test depth, you
Con, maneuvering,
usually
making turns for 20 knots.
regret it. You usually have a bit of a mess made of your submarine. And why did that not knuckle? Yeah, that's bad. Please knuckle. Okay, I wonder if it doesn't knuckle if I'm too deep. That would be...
Passing 1,200 feet.
Well, phrasing for one, but that would be very unfortunate. Okay, let's straighten things up a little bit,
1,100 feet.
like so. Let's check back with the map. What's going on? Right, there's one on me.
Passing 1,000 feet.
Here's me surprise face. Yeah, it's not...
Passing.
Oh, it's not knuckling because I'm only doing 20 knots.
3, 2
Oh, that's
knots.
very bad.
Maneuvering eye.
Although actually, look at that. It still can't climb with me.
Passing 700 feet.
Hey, one blew up. Ran out of fuel. Okay.
Passing 600 feet.
Well, that could have been
Passing
very scary.
500 feet. Passing 400 feet.
The nose down. Don't want to start to cavitate, which I may be about to do, but okay. We seem to temporarily have a bit of a respite. So one blew up, one looks like it's below me and is now possibly turning away. Nice, it's circling. Okay, they don't actually know where I am. I mean, we're heading away from the enemy, but also heading away from danger, so I'm happy with that. Right, we got the spruance then. That was the spearfish did its work. So I'm good with that. I'm gonna drop my speed. And we're
Make turns for 10
gonna
knots.
get above the layer
Maneuvering
here,
eye.
I think.
Passing 300 feet.
So if I can get above the layer, they're not gonna. Hopefully, they're not gonna detect me.
Passing 200 feet.
Make turns for 5 knots.
One blew
Maneuvering
up.
eye.
Con sonar regained contact on Master 8, bearing 190.
Okay. I'm not gonna say we can breathe easy because
Con maneuvering, making turns.
Come right to 108. Helm aye.
well, we've managed to successfully defend a few torpedoes now. And
Con sonar regained contact on Master 6, bearing 195.
I don't want to sink everything.
Con sonar regained contact on Sierra 10, bearing 209.
What I'd like to do is stop them from invading Greenland. Well, that's my mission. I wonder what a B-34 is. Is that a close-in weapon system? Doesn't look like it. Excuse me. And so with that in mind, it's
Con, sonar reports ice ahead.
entirely possible that we could happily take it out. That's not an iceberg, that's a space station. Look at the size of that. But we are turning away from it. We're just turning away kind of slowly.
Make depth 4, 5 feet, dive I.
We'll get up to periscope depth. I'll accelerate time.
Con,
Y-
dive
yeah,
S4,
that
5
is-
feet, dive
That's
I.
enormous. And we're going to clear it, so that's good. We could use that to
Con
mask.
sonar regained contact on Sierra 1-1, bearing 2-0-6.
Okay, let's go
Wing shift for
ultra
ultra
quiet.
Con, helm, steady course.
Love to know where that now. Well, where the narwhal is, not that narwhal. There
Con
isn't
sonar
one.
regained contact on Sierra 1-1, bearing 2-0-6. Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 5, last bearing 2-1-4. Contact faded. Con sonar regained contact on Sierra 5, bearing 2-1-4.
They're coming back. Why are they coming back? Okay, I know why they're coming back. They've got a mission too, but you're coming back, guys. You have a Swiftsure-class British nuclear attack boat on a war footing, armed to the teeth with stuff that you don't even know
Con
about.
sonar regained contact on Master 1-3, bearing 1-8-9.
And yet, this... What is it? Is it a landing ship? Submarine tender. Yeah, why are you... Well... Okay.
Con sonar regained contact on Sierra 7, bearing 2-0-8.
Well, so... Here's the deal, submarine
Con sonar
tender.
lost contact.
Mast, come right to 182. Helm I.
You don't have many more submarines to provide for, so maybe if I surface close to
Con,
you,
helm, steady course.
you'll decide to go somewhere else. But I don't think you will. I think this guy is here to serve his mission, and the fact that there's at least 3 of them. 4 of them, actually.
Con sonar regained contact on Sierra 2, bearing 2-0-4.
Kind of means that there's a pretty big presence, or we're expecting a big presence. So, and I don't mean presence as in it's Christmas time. No, I mean, oh boy. Well, I don't even think that you merit. No, how big is it? I kind of don't even necessarily think that it merits a spearfish, but...
Come right to 254. Helm I.
Con sonar regained contact on Sierra 2, bearing 2-0-4.
Yeah.
Con, helm, steady course.
Con sonar lost contact. Master 6, last bearing 1-9-7. Contact faded.
We're going to have to sink this guy. Unless I surface. And I don't really want to surface because he's going to shoot me with his AK-725s, and they would cause a lot of damage to me. So well, I know what I can do. I can ping him.
Con
There we
sonar
go. Let's
switching
ping
to
him.
active search.
This is me saying, dude, you do not wish to be in this
Con
vicinity.
sonar switching to passive search.
See if he changes course. Nothing yet. Well, now we know the narwhal's back there as well. Nothing yet. So, he's still heading north. He's still heading towards the, I guess the equivalent of the do not fly, the do not sail zone, the exclusion zone. So I'm going to have to torpedo this chump. I mean, I'm a bit exasperated because I'd rather not. But if I have to, I have to. I mean, it's not called an order for nothing. And by pinging, of course, I've alerted everything that I'm here, but that's kind of the point. Hey, I'm still here. I'm not dead yet. Leave me alone. I mean, maybe a better way of saying this is to just lob a harpoon in his direction, because if the Americans truly can jam the harpoons, then
Come right to 270. Helm I.
that will be an ineffective weapon. So that's a possibility. Well, let's get my speed up to
10 knots. maneuvering
10
aye.
knots. We're going to close the distance a little bit. Thank goodness they hadn't got air
Maneuvering,
support.
making turns for 10 knots.
I mean, using a tigerfish against this guy, it just kind of seems... I don't know. Let's try 15 knots. We're going to cavitate.
Make turns for 15 knots. Maneuvering aye.
No, I'm not. So that's... Alright, now he's detected me.
Rig ship for ultra quiet.
So now...
Sonar regained contact on Sierra 7, bearing 208.
Yeah, I'm right here, buddy. You don't want to be doing this.
Shoot tube 5. Aye, sir.
I mean...
Fire control. Weapon acquired.
I don't want to do this. I would rather you not continue on this course. But there you are. Yeah, and you've stopped. What are you going to do now, sunshine? You got a torpedo heading your way with a Mahusive warhead. It's not going to polish out. You better get those life rafts on board, because you've kind of left me no choice. I'm going to ping my torpedo so you know it's coming. Yeah, well, this is your own dumb fault. An interesting flag that you've got on the back there. Looks like a Russian flag. What's going on? Well, it didn't sink you, at least, so there is that, but, yeah, I mean, now what are you going to do? Now you're burning, got a big hole in your side, very big hole. So, now you can get on those life rafts. Please don't make me do anything else.
Make depth 20.
Come left to 181.
No, it's the right time. Let's see what happens. What's he gonna do?
Con sonar regained contact on Master 1.
Con, dive at 200 feet. Dive aye.
Con, helm, steady course.
So if he was heading straight for land, fair enough. But instead, no. Instead, he is trying to get on top of me. Okay, now he's slowed down. Maybe he's abandoning boat, abandoning ship. Maybe. He's not burning anymore, though. So. Okay.
Rig ship for ultra quiet.
Yeah, so what I'd like him to do is, what I would have liked him to have done is decided better
Make
of
depth 4-5 feet. Dive aye.
playing with fire and maybe abandon with weapons and head to the coast because he's sinking. But instead, he aimed right at me. So that means he's like, I'm trying my hardest not to sink you, and you keep coming.
Con sonar regained contact on Sierra 7, bearing 208.
Okay, let's pop my sensors.
Raise the radar mast. Con, dive at 4-5 feet. Dive aye.
And this guy was already heading towards it, so I feel I need to give you one of these. I mean, at least give you a harpoon. Let's see if the claims that the Americans made are true.
Shoot 2-1. Aye, sir.
And I do kind of feel bad, because now you're going to get the radio message from your buddies. There's a red dot blinking moving towards the green dot. It's one of ours, don't worry, we can jam it, you'll be fine. Or not.
Downscope.
I'm going to pop my sensors down because any American with a hand grenade could toss it in my direction, especially if they're good at baseball. And yes, I'm using a whole bunch of stereotypes, and that's because I'm lazy and they make life easy, but I really don't want this conflict. Quick pop up the radar.
Raise the radar mast.
Mid-course correction,
Con,
maybe.
torpedo room, tube 1 ready.
He's heading right at me at 17 knots. So
Raise the ESM mast.
I mean, what else to do?
Downstroke.
Looks like it's guiding. There he is. This is gonna sting. And it sucks.
Con sonar lost contact. Master 7, last bearing 209. Contact breaking up.
I mean, I don't really know what else to say, other than they kept coming at me. So it's truly sad. There's a narwhal out there that's also pinging me. There's lots of stuff pinging me. I'm gonna get and now there's a torpedo fired. Get my depth to 300 feet, and we'll take a sniff around, see if
Make depth 300 feet. Dive I.
see if we can detect the narwhal. I'm gonna go ultra
Rig ship
quiet.
for ultra quiet.
I mean, at least now that oh, that's not good. They're being aggressive. I kind of don't blame them because
Come left to 094. Helm I.
I did kind of shoot their warship, but now this ship is heading towards the iceberg.
Con, dive at 300 feet. Dive I.
Con, helm, steady course.
I have no idea where the narwhal is, at least. So well, maybe I
Con
do.
sonar launch transient from
You-
Master 7.
Dude, did you seriously just fire upon me? Are you out of your mind?
Shoot 2-2. Aye, sir.
I mean, like, why? Like, why would you do that?
Shoot 2-5. Aye, sir.
Come left to 312. Helm I.
I mean, I don't know how else to sort of say this other than that was just unnecessary, narwhal. And now you're going to get spearfish, and you do not have the chops to outrun this thing, and you do not have the agility to outmaneuver it. So this is going to be a fairly simple kill for the spearfish. Your Mark 48 is a little concerning.
Make turns for
Don't.
15 knots.
I'm going to have to
Maneuvering
keep ping and see if we can get wind of a very precise location, but this was just avoidable. You could have not done this.
Con, maneuvering, making turns for 15 knots.
I got nothing, no. Alright, well that torpedo at least blew up. So I think now what I can do is... Did he just fire again?
Come left to
think he did.
221. Helm I.
So what I've done is I've set up my spearfish to go active on the sonar. So it'll feed back any location. If it detects the narwhal, it will feed it back to me. And yeah, they're still coming. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go offensive. I say have to. I'm going offensive.
Passing 400 feet.
I would have thought that losing 3 warships, and then 4th, and now
Con sonar, noisemaker bearing 109.
you thought
Con
that
sonar lost contact. Master 8, last bearing 032. Contact is in the baffles.
thought that that would have been enough. So
Con sonar regained contact on Sierra 15, bearing 1.
Con, helm, steady course.
Passing 500 feet.
So this is my spearfish attacking the narwhal. He did fire again, I think. There's probably another torpedo behind me, behind the spearfish. Yeah, there it is. He's actually wire-guiding that to me as well. So that's not just an idle threat. That's a pretty effective weapon. I'm actually going to get above the layer now, I think.
Con sonar regained contact on Master 8, bearing 033.
Con, fire control. We've lost.
Con sonar, noisemaker bearing 101.
So I just lost the wire on my tigerfish. But okay.
Con, fire
Passing 500 feet.
Okay, and I lost the wire on that as well. I gotta hope that that spearfish can turn around and attack it, but it looked like it was not doing what I wanted it to do.
Passing 400 feet.
Traveling in a straight line, that's bad.
Passing 300 feet.
So
Deep depth 100 feet. Dive by.
the narwhal's gonna get away.
Shoot 2-3. Aye, sir.
Yeah, I wasted the spearfish there. I shouldn't have done that. Okay, well at least the enemy.
Make turns for 10 knots.
His
Maneuvering
torpedoes
aye.
are traveling behind me, so that's good. I've managed to avoid his
Maneuvering,
counterfire
Making turns for
or his fire upon me.
0 knots.
And I'm above the layer. I'm doing 10 knots, so the speed's doing okay. I'm above the layer. I can probably get up to 15 knots if I drop my depth a little. But let's go up to 15 knots right now.
Make turns for 15 knots. Maneuvering aye.
Yeah. Nice thing about having one of these submarines is
Maneuvering, making turns for 15 knots.
15 knots at 100 feet is very nice, and it means that I can maneuver away from a threat that little bit more effectively than if I could only do 5 knots or possibly even 10. So that you can't use this ability the whole time. Excuse me, but when you can, it's very useful. Let's see if I can see my tigerfish. So that is probably my my spearfish just going off. Oh, maybe not. That's my second one. Ooh, interesting. Oh well, that's my tigerfish about to destroy this submarine tender.
Con sonar lost contact. Master 8. Last bearing
What's up, Thomas?
040. Contact breaking up.
This thing has gone in search mode. That might be a Mark 48 though, actually. That's probably Mark 48. Okay. Right. Well, we can see what's going on there. So one of the Mark 48s behind me has gone into a search pattern already. The other one hasn't yet gone to a
Make
search
turns
pattern.
for 5 knots. Maneuvering aye.
Looks like the narwhal is heading northeast north. I'm going to put this torpedo to search mode.
Fire
Yep,
control. Weapon acquired.
located it.
Con sonar regained contact on Sierra 1-5 bearing 094.
I'm going to put my nose
Come
towards
right to
this guy.
095.
If he's actively
Helm
pinging
aye.
me with sonar, it looks like he's gone a little deeper. Yeah. But if he's actively pointing his using his sonar and I'm broadside, he's going to get quite a good return on me. So we'll go ahead and point our nose towards him. To take me a bit of time to turn, let's put my speed to 15 knots.
Make turns for 15 knots. Maneuvering
Let's
aye.
ping him actively. There you are.
Con sonar launch transient from Sierra.
That's bad.
1-5.
He's firing at me, but okay. That's because he's about to eat one of these
Con
spearfish.
sonar lost
Kaboom.
contact. Sierra.
Con maneuvering.
Okay, that
Making
did
turns
take
for
care of him. So now,
15 knots.
Come right to
I'm gonna head south
180.
at best speed.
Sonar, we are cavitating.
Because this Mark 48 is bad news. There it is. So you see him sinking in the distance, rest in peace.
Passing 200 feet.
And we see his Mark 48. Now depending when that bad boy goes live, I am in
Passing 300 feet.
trouble.
Con sonar no longer cavitating.
So
Passing 400
we'll
feet.
see how well this works, this evasive technique.
Con
Passing 500 feet.
But the fact that I can dip
Passing
behind
600 feet.
these two Mark 48s is very useful. And in fact, I'm actually going to
Passing 700 feet.
head towards
come right to 193. Helm aye.
whatever else is firing at
Passing
me.
900 feet. Passing 1,000 feet. Make
Okay.
depth 1200 feet. Dive by.
I'm going to exceed my test depth. So let's maybe help it out a little bit here.
Passing 1,200 feet.
Okay, let's do that. That's close enough. It looks like that Mark 48 is not going to detect me at some distance. The narwhal is still sinking in the background, but I think we've done enough to avoid it. So switch back here. Let's run accelerate time for a little bit.
Con, sonar.
No,
Torpedo in the water.
I actually
Torpedo
didn't.
in the water. Bearing 030.
Yeah, there it goes, coming down.
Knuckle formed.
They're lethal, those things. So that's knuckled it away, and I'm just going to keep it firewalled. If it turns around and get back to depth, I suppose I could have reduced my depth. I still can. It might be effective. We may have done too
Passing
little.
1,200 feet.
Too little, too late. But if I put my depth up,
Passing 1,100 feet.
don't really want to. It's not picked me up yet, but I want to slow down.
Passing 1,000 feet.
But that's actually an option, is to go to ultra
Passing
silent
900 feet.
as we get up to 150 feet.
Passing 800 feet. Passing 700 feet. Passing 600 feet. Passing 500 feet. Passing 400 feet.
Con, sonar. We are cavitating. Con, sonar. No longer cavitating.
I think we got away with it,
Passing 200 feet.
which is nice. We're now above the layer. We are now above the layer. Okay, we got away with it.
Make depth 4, 5 feet. Dive high.
Alright, that's the third Mark 48 I've evaded like that. We've only could do that with the Russian torpedoes quite so well.
Dive at 4, 5 feet. Dive high.
Okay. I'm going to pop my sensors and see if they've all decided they have to go back to America. There's a rough sea, so it's entirely possible that we're not going to pick anything up just yet, but I would say scope is clear. Okay. Right.
Down scope.
I think it's fair to say that reluctantly, because I had to sink so many enemy vessels, that mission was a success. We've defended Greenland, at least for the time being. So I hope you got something from this, and if you take anything away from this video, it's that this kind of conflict is really kind of silly. And I genuinely hope that we don't have something like this kick off in the real world, because the Scandinavians and the British maybe less stomach for this, but the continental European nations are not going to tolerate American aggression, as POTUS seems to think he can get away with. So I truly hope that this doesn't happen. But if it does, well, it's not going to be quite as one-sided as some of my earlier missions have shown. Of course, this is a simulation. It doesn't tell you anything. This is just me playing around with some different weapons and different boats and seeing what happens. But the moral of the story is this: war sucks. If you made it all the way through to this part of the video, or if you're angrily typing something about being left wing or this or that or whatever, that's fine. You can take a view of my politics, by the way. You would be wrong, I think, assuming I'm left wing, but that doesn't matter. So hopefully this never comes to pass. Either way, thanks so much for watching. Hope you got something from this, and if you did, you can go ahead and leave a like. If you thought it was terrible and sucked, go ahead and leave a dislike, and I'll see you the next time. Thanks so much, everyone. Take care.